What's up, everyone? Thrift, Barringer, Richard Holdridge, Sportsvisions on the road at 2025 SEC Media Days. It's day number 2 from the Omni Hotel College Football Hall of Fame. We've had a lot of fun. Auburn, Georgia just went this morning. We got Tennessee and Texas coming on later this afternoon, where I also was able to talk with Mike G from the War Report and Jack Patterson from WRBL. They'll drop either later on in this episode or tonight. We'll have another hit, recap the entire day. You'll be able to see the interviews in both segments. Let's go ahead and talk. Rich, how has day number 2 been so far for you?
So far, day number 2, we hit both teams that we cover in this area, Georgia and Auburn. Coach Hugh Freese started things off first. He took the podium at 9 this morning for the digital media. And the one takeaway I got from Hugh Freese is that there's a lot of pressure for him and the Auburn Tigers to win, because they have the most talented team, probably the best offensive line they had in over a decade. But Hugh Freese knows 2 losing seasons in Auburn is not going to cut it, especially with that Auburn fan base. They are getting tiresome. They are wanting to at least see Auburn be relevant and be a college football playoff contender. But realistically, 8 or 9 wins is really what the season's going to look like, especially they do have an easy schedule. But I think that Hugh Freese has got the right quarterback, Jackson Arnold, leading that offense.
A couple of things I'm going to push back on. One, I don't think anybody has an easy schedule in the SEC, but it is a favorable schedule compared to years past. But I'm with you. I think fans are getting restless. They need to win 8 or 9 games. I think the biggest thing, and I've said this on multiple other shows, is being in the conversation when November gets around. The last couple of seasons, honestly, Auburn has not been in the conversation when November got there since 2021. Brian Harsin's first season. I know everybody thinks Brian Harsin was just something that was terrible. Remember, 6-2 heading into the first week of November to take on A&M. That Auburn team was ranked number 13 and had a chance if they had won out, meaning they would have beat Alabama, they would have beat A&M, South Carolina. They would have made it to the SEC championship game and probably been on the cusp of making the playoff. So Auburn has not been relevant and hadn't been in the conversation since then. Auburn fans are tired by the time November comes around. They even think you're going to make a bowl game. So if you can be in the conversation, Auburn can be successful this year. And obviously Hugh Freese will feel less pressure and less of that hot seat. I think it has to do with the fact of the play calling, man. That's where I'm worried. The quarterback has been upgraded. The offensive line's the best it's been since 2017. The receiving core is as deep as it's ever been, maybe in Auburn history, with Singleton and Cam Coleman, the likes. The defense is underrated. The running back position, Damari Alston, is one of the top running backs in the SEC. They got to be put in a position to be successful. Last year we saw offensive play calling was a lot of the reasons why Auburn ended up losing games. There cannot be a malpractice in that.
No.
And who's calling the plays? Is it Hugh Freese? Is it Derek Nix? Some of those questions were answered here at SEC Media Days. On the flip side with Georgia, and I'll start with them first, Rich, with Kirby Smart. We know the old adage, it's a cliche. They don't rebuild, they reload every single season. You know, a lot of people said is the question mark with the Gunnar Stockton, him being a first-year starter. Well, started some at the end of the year, but I'm talking about for a full season. This is his first year. Is that the biggest question mark? I don't think so. I think it's a receiving position, because the amount of drops Georgia had last year cost them a chance to win a national championship. And they went out and they got some guys from Miami. They got some guys, Noah Harris from Texas A&M, and Dylan Bell, their leading returner from last year with 600 yards receiving. He may not even start. That's how much talent's on the Georgia roster. You would think progression there would allow Gunnar Stockton to be successful.
Well, I think the biggest question mark is not Gunnar Stockton. It's the offensive line. Can they give him enough time to throw the football and try to get those combinations of running the football? Because Nate Frazier is going to be the guy. I think that Georgia has the tools to have a balanced offense. And the play calling of Mike Bobo, I know that has really been the biggest question mark for Georgia. I have no doubt that Gunnar Stockton, I think that getting inserted into that SEC championship game against Texas gave Georgia the confidence to know that they could win with Gunnar. And we know that even though the defense has been putting people in the first round of the NFL draft, like Mykel Williams, Malachi Starks, their defense is going to be loaded and one of the top defenses in college football. And get this, last year they had to play at Bama, at Texas, at Ole Miss. They get all three of those teams at home this year.
Right. That's a great point. And these are some of the questions that were answered earlier today. Coming up here in the second half of SEC Media Days for day number 2, Tennessee and Texas. And then tomorrow, of course, is Alabama. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I was able to catch up with Mike G from the War Report and then Jack Patterson from WRBL. It's Sportsvisions on the road. Remember DJ Jones? He is in New Orleans.
Yes.
And Tulane University with the NFLPA Body and Brain Assessment. This was previously scheduled. We're glad DJ's down there. We can't wait to get his insight and what he's been able to experience. And he allowed us to hold the fort down. Thank you again to our mentor, DJ Jones. And we can't wait to have him back in studio on Sports Vision 92.1 FM this Thursday, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we got more on the road with Sports Visions.
Hello, everybody. This is DJ Jones with the Sports Visions Morning Show for the best in local, regional, and national sports news. Weekdays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
You can find the Sports Visions Morning Show on Facebook, YouTube. Also, you can listen to us on Apple and Spotify by typing in the Sports Visions Morning Show and download the Sports Visions radio app right now in your app store today.
Sports Vision 92.1. We are your hometown sports guys.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to SEC Media Day Sports Visions on the road, and I am with Jack Patterson as we did him every Tuesday and Thursday. JP, how has SEC Media Days been for you so far, man?
Man, it's been busy. It's been busy, but it's been a lot of fun as well.
Listen, you say busy because right now your cohort is at All-Star Game. How y'all making this work, man? You were at Homer Derby last night. You're here today. You're going to be going to the All-Star Game later. Tyler will be here tomorrow. I mean, y'all are two places at once, it seems like, man.
Man, we're just doing the best we can to cover everything we possibly can for the viewers of the Chattahoochee Valley. Simple as that.
Right, and last night was pretty cool seeing how the Homer and Derby went down. What was your reaction from it, man?
It was a lot of fun. Just the spectacle of it. Seeing O'Neal Cruz hit one out of the ballpark. Like, that is the longest home run I've ever witnessed in person.
Right.
513 feet. That was ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
Seeing Junior Caminero, where we were sitting, we were at the last row of the Hank Aaron Terrace,
Right.
and hitting baseballs all the way up there.
Jeez.
It's just like every time Junior Caminero came up, it was just like you had to be on notice.
Yeah.
Because he was launching them all the way up there, 5 rows back into the Hank Aaron Terrace. It was ridiculous.
Tyler Redmond was like a kid in a candy store, he said, between Joe Torre, Chipper Jones. You got to see a lot of his favorites. So I know we'll be able to talk to him when he gets here on Wednesday. Jet, let's go to SEC Media Days. Let's talk today. We've had Georgia and we've had Auburn here early this morning. What have been your reaction? We'll first start with Hugh Freese. He's high on Jackson Arnold. He likes his roster, and he thinks his team, and he knows the pressure surrounding year 3. He needs to win 8 or 9 games. What's your mindset with Auburn right now?
You hit the nail on the head. This has got to be that year. You've got to show progress if you're Hugh Freese and if you're the Auburn Tigers.
Right.
6 wins won't cut it this year, okay? No. Even if you do beat Auburn, or even if you do beat Georgia or Alabama, okay?
You're still getting gone.
I'm not going to say he's gone, but the heat will be nuclear,
right?
Okay, because Auburn's not exactly trying to pay another coach that's not coaching for them,
right?
Okay, but at the same time, the pressure is definitely there. Jackson Arnold's got a lot of upside, okay? But at this point, we've heard that story before, okay? We've heard it, and that's legitimately been the Achilles heel of this program. Skill players have been fantastic. Defense has been good,
right?
Okay, the one thing they haven't had is consistent, competent quarterback play.
Yep.
So if Jackson Arnold could provide that, it's going to make a world of difference for this program. Okay, but at the same time, it's talking season, so of course, he's going to be excited about everything.
Right.
But rubber's going to meet the road in a few weeks, and we're going to see, is Jackson Arnold the answer for Auburn?
And I think a lot of predicates on the play calling, the development of the receiving core, the offensive line being the best it's been in several years. If all that surrounds Jackson, specifically the play calling, to meet his strengths, I think Auburn offense can be really good. Now, on the flip side with Georgia, I think the biggest question mark, and I know many people want to say it's got to be Gunnar Stockton. He's replacing Carson Beck, who's been the starter the last 2 years. I don't think that's the biggest question mark. It's got to be receivers. Remember how many drops Georgia had last year? It really was their biggest Achilles heel. So now this year, he went out and got a lot of depth. Even the leading receiver, Dylan Bell, may not even be a starter for how much depth they got in the transfer portal. What's your thought with Hugh Freese from what you heard today at SC Media Days.
You mean Kirby Smart, but
yeah, thank you for doing that.
You're good.
I'm
you're
already
good.
thinking about the next question. I bet Kirby Smart.
But seriously though, that was Georgia's biggest issue last year. So many drops, okay? And they were drive killers, which ended up being game killers, okay? And you got a new quarterback in Gunnar Stockton. I've seen Gunnar for a long time, even back to his high school days. I really have high hopes for what he can do in Georgia's offense. But you hit the nail, and granted, Kirby went deep in the transfer portal, trying to build depth in their recruiting room.
Yep.
And we're gonna see if it pays off, because if it does, you already know that Georgia's gonna be good with running backs.
Right.
If they can get competent play out of the receiving core, they'll be in business.
Now, Jack, same thing I asked Mike. Final question is, how many SC Media Days have you been able to be a part of, and do you like what this represents? Obviously, it's exciting. It kicks off college football season, but as a guy in the media, do you feel like you get the information you need in an event like this? So first, how many ones have you been doing, and how much you've enjoyed doing it?
I want to say this is my 4th, and it is so much fun because on multiple fronts. So, on the business front, okay, you're getting firsthand opportunities to get with these coaches, get with these players that you're going to be talking about throughout the year, get their thoughts, okay? See where their minds are heading into the year. And that's not only pertinent now, but it can be pertinent when we go into the season, when, we can go midway through the season and say, hey, this is what you said at Media Days, where are we at now?
Right.
Okay, so it's that knowledge that you gain from being able to be here and to pick people's brains about, just where their minds are heading into the season. And that's something that you can use later in the year. And on a personal front, man, it's always fun to get to hang out with the other members of the media that you get to see from not just around the states that we cover, but around the country too.
Man.
I always say that events like this is just one big TV family reunion.
Yeah.
So it's been awesome to see a lot of people that I haven't seen in a while. And it's also awesome, one thing I've always said about this show, and I said this on the Sportsvisions show, is that, in these events, in our industry, people on Twitter before you meet them in person.
Yeah.
And I've already met 2 people I knew on Twitter in person this week. So,
awesome.
So like I said, it's just awesome to have, to be able to meet people and network and stuff like that.
Yeah, we ran into one of your best friends, Marty Smith, who you went viral with. Remember back in 2019, Jack?
Boy, it just feels like yesterday.
It really does.
Feels like
man.
6 years ago.
And now you're the sports director. How about that? Where can everybody see your hits? When are you going live? What do you got planned? You got also the All-Star game y'all are covering as well. What's going on at WRBL?
All right, so I will have you covered for Georgia and Auburn here at SEC Media Days, and we'll have you covered for Alabama on Wednesday, and then we will be live from the All-Star game Tuesday night at 6 and 11, and full recap on News 3 this morning. So be sure, we're going to be out here cranking out everything, so be sure to stay tuned in for sure.
His name is Jack Patterson. It's Sportsvisions on the road, 92.1 FM. We'll be back after this.
Hello, everybody. This is DJ Jones with the Sportsvisions Morning Show for the best in local, regional, and national sports news. Weekdays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
You can find the Sportsvisions Morning Show on Facebook, YouTube. Also, you can listen to us on Apple and Spotify by typing in the Sportsvisions Morning Show, and download the Sportsvisions radio app right now in your app store today.
Sportsvision 92.1. We are your hometown sports guys.
What's up, everyone? Thrift Barringer here on the road with Sportsvisions at SEC Media Days, and I am with the man, the myth, the legend, Mike G from the Wool Report. What is up, Mike G? How are you, man?
Thanks for having me. It's been a busy SEC Media Day so far. Day 1 got off to a great start. So far, Auburn is on the roll this morning. Hugh Freese is making the rounds. We heard from offensive lineman Connor Lew. We've heard from Keldrick Faulk, who should be a star in the SEC this year. And Auburn's brand new starting quarterback, Jackson Arnold, is in the room to our left right now talking to the media.
Okay, so a couple things. First thing is Hugh Freese. How do you feel about his confidence? You've seen him. We haven't seen the main media yet, but you saw him in the breakout rooms and stuff. It seems like he's confident with this roster. He doesn't care about the nonsense with the golfing thing. What's your mindset from what you've heard so far from Hugh Freese? And you actually got to sit down and do a one-on-one with him.
Thrift, he's projecting the confidence that he needs to project in year 3. Look, years 1 and 2 were extremely underwhelming, and Auburn has to produce results this year. Without the results, there is no Hugh Freese. He's not here. I think personally, under 8 wins, nothing's off the table. So look, he understands that Auburn didn't just have a talent gap these first 2 years.
Right.
They had a coaching gap. And they've got to close the coaching gap for fans in their mind. They've got to win those winnable games.
Yep.
You cannot lose to Vanderbilt. You got to continue to beat Kentucky.
Yeah.
You've got to go out game one and get a big win on the road versus Baylor to get your season started. If you beat Baylor, you start the season 3-0, and you inject a lot of hope into a program going into SEC play that opens on the road at Oklahoma, which will be a revenge game for Jackson Arnold.
Infuse of talent. That's what's really happened in the last couple of years. In your opinion, what's been the most important? Is it the offensive line that's got Connor Lew, looks like could be one of the top 5 in the SEC? Is it how deep the receiving core is? Or is it the fact that Jackson Arnold could be potentially the best Auburn quarterback in the last 5 to 10 seasons? Which one are you high on? And I didn't even mention how talented the defense was, which was really good last year as well.
I think that it has to be the wide receiver room.
Right.
They have stacked the deck around the quarterback to set a safe floor for QB play.
Right.
Hugh Freese, when he got the job, he talked about getting pass catchers with catch radius in this league. So they went out and they got Cam Coleman. You've got a top 30 player in Perry Thompson. You went out and you got Keandre Lambert-Smith last year, but you've got Eric Singleton Jr. this year. He's talked about him a lot this morning and said, look, he can really do some things. Reports are he's running a low 4.2 40 so far. So he's a guy who can possibly break the game open for you. You've got Malcolm Simmons returning, who was a big-time playmaker for Auburn last year, just playing like a freshman. He's no longer playing like a freshman. And Hugh Freese thinks that the collection of these receivers is going to help boost Jackson Arnold into the top 4 QBs in the league.
Right.
And if he is there, Auburn will go, because I'm telling you, that defense is going to hold serve. It's going to be a top 15 defense under DJ Durkin.
No doubt.
And Auburn's going to win 8 games minimum.
Now, let's go personally for you. We were just talking off air. This is SC Media Day number 5, man. 2021.
Yeah, it is.
You really started becoming ingratiated and becoming a full member of the media. What's it like, man, these last 5 years? And do you like the progression of SEC Media Days? Do you like what it represents? What's your overall thought now you got to be a part of it for so long?
Well, it's the college football media event of the offseason.
It starts the season for us.
Yeah,
right?
there is nothing like it. None of the other conferences do anything that match this. Look, it just means more. It's printed everywhere we're at, right? Yeah.
Right.
It just means more. And I think that Media Days embodies that slogan so that we all come here. Everybody who's anybody in our industry is here this week covering every team in the SEC. And they give us a window. They help us give fans a window into what's happening with their team before the season starts. College football has the longest offseason of any sport, Thrift. It is a long time from January to August.
Right.
And the conference does a good job helping us fill that time for fans, and SEC Media Days is a big part of that.
No doubt, man. And I've thoroughly enjoyed being able to network, meet all the people that cover all the different teams. I know you love doing that too. You're a people person, Mike, so it's always big for young people, up-and-coming broadcasters. You know, DJ, he loves when we can kind of give advice to those who are trying to get into the industry. What would your advice be if they're experiencing their first SEC Media Days?
Adapt to the new way people are consuming their sports media. People want a little bit of fandom from the people who cover their team, but they still want objectivity as well too.
Right.
People want to be on social media. They want to see you where they are. So go where they are. Traditional forms of media like television and radio, they still serve a purpose, but there's a new segment, there's a younger segment that looks to Twitter, they look to Instagram, they look to TikTok for their news.
YouTube.
Yeah, and you have to be there. So make yourself comfortable with the new mediums of how people are consuming sports media, and just make sure that you take advantage of those avenues.
You can hear me on Mike G's Rapport Report every Wednesday morning. And then, of course, he's been a big part of Sportsvisions. It's Sportsvision. We do 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Mike's not always a morning person, but he's going to come on as much as he can throughout the football season. He's going to be a big part of Sportsvisions. Mike, tell everybody where they can find your great work, man.
Guys, check us out on social media at The War Report, every social media platform. We're TW Pro on TikTok. Follow us on YouTube, subscribe, become a patron, and show us some love in the comments. We are everywhere bringing Auburn fans all the content they can handle. It's going to be a great season.
His name is Mike G. We're on the road. Sportsvisions, SEC Media Days. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, everybody. This is DJ Jones with the Sportsvisions Morning Show for the best in local, regional, and national sports news. Weekdays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
You can find the Sportsvisions Morning Show on Facebook, YouTube. Also, you can listen to us on Apple and Spotify by typing in the Sportsvisions Morning Show, and download the Sportsvisions radio app right now in your app store today.
Sports Vision 92.1. We are your hometown sports guys.
Welcome back here. Really good to catch up with Mike G and Jack Patterson. Day number 2. This is our midday report here on the road with Sports Visions. Thank y'all so much for watching. Coming up, we'll have another live one. We'll have both interviews replaying again in that. Me and Richard will go more in depth with recapping everything that's happened here in day number 2. And we may even have some other special guests that we'll interview the part of our coverage later on tonight. Richard, it's been a lot of fun. We're about to go eat some lunch because then we got Tennessee and Texas coming up next. It's On the Road with Sports Visions. Sports Vision, 92.1 FM. Thrift, Barringer, Richard Holdridge. We'll see you later on tonight. SEC Media Days.